The scream tore through the afternoon like a gunshot. "Please! They're killing my grandma!" 5 bikers turned as one. Coffee cups froze midair. Conversations died. Even the Harley engines seemed to hold their breath. The boy was maybe 9 years old, running across the parking lot in one shoe, his SpongeBob shirt torn at the shoulder, blood streaming from his knee. But it was his eyes that grabbed you. Pure terror. The kind that comes when you're watching someone you love die and you're too small to stop it. He stumbled toward the 5 most dangerous-looking men at Rusty's roadside diner, like they were his last hope on earth. Because they were. "They're beating her," he sobbed, pointing down Highway 47 with a shaking hand. "Please, somebody help." The biggest biker stood slowly. Victor Reaper Castellano, 6'4", 260 of scarred muscle and prison ink. His vest read, "Vice President, Iron Brotherhood MC." The kind of man you cross the street to avoid. But when he looked at this crying boy, something changed in his face. Something that didn't match the skull tattoos on his neck. "Where?" Reaper's voice was gravel but gentle. "Yellow House. 3 men. They have knives." The boy could barely breathe. "Please hurry." Reaper knelt down, eye level with the kid. "What's your name?" Michael Torres." "Michael, you stay here with Ruby." He nodded to the diner owner. "We'll get your grandma. I promise." The boy grabbed his vest with both hands. "They'll kill you. They have guns." Reaper's expression didn't change. "Kid, we've dealt with worse." 4 other bikers were already moving. Snake, Diesel, Crow, Mouse. No panic. Just deadly efficiency. 5 Harleys roared to life like thunder, and they were gone, screaming down the highway in formation. The ride took 2 minutes. Felt like hours. The yellow house sat back from the road, door hanging open. From inside came sounds that made Reaper's blood freeze. A woman crying. Men laughing. Something heavy crashing. Snake kicked the door so hard it slammed against the wall. What they saw inside burned into their memories forever. An old woman was on the floor, backed into the corner. Her face was swelling. Blood ran from her nose. Broken glasses lay near her feet. She held her arms up, trying to protect herself from the boot coming down toward her ribs. 3 men stood over her. Tracksuit. Bulldog with a knife. Skinny guy with his hand inside his jacket. Everyone froze for 1 perfect second. Then chaos. Snake caught the knife guy's wrist mid-swing, twisted hard. The blade clattered to the floor. Knee to the gut. The man crumpled. Tracksuit bolted for the back door. Diesel grabbed his collar, yanked him backward. He hit the floor so hard the air left his lungs in one violent whoosh. The 3rd man went for his gun. Made it halfway before Reaper's hand clamped on his wrist like steel. "Pull that gun," Reaper said very quietly. "And it's the last thing you do." The hand came out empty. 10 seconds. That's all it took. Crow helped the old woman up while Mouse called 911. She was shaking, tears cutting clean lines through the dust on her face. Her dress was torn. 1 slipper gone. "Ma'am, you're safe now," Crow said gently. "Police are coming." She looked up at these 5 terrifying strangers and started crying harder. Not from fear, from relief. And if you believe heroes don't always look like what we expect, hit that subscribe button right now. Because what happens next will prove that family isn't blood. It's who shows up when you're dying. The 3 loan sharks were zip-tied and dumped on the front lawn. Inside, Reaper knelt beside the old woman, now sitting on her couch with ice on her face. "Can you tell me what happened?" Her voice shook. "My son borrowed money 6 months ago. Medical bills. I co-signed because he's my boy. Then he died. Heart attack at 38. Fresh tears fell. The debt passed to me. 15,000 plus interest. I'm on Social Security. Can't pay. They came today and said this was my last chance." "Your grandson ran half a mile to find us," Crow said from the window. "In 1 shoe. I told him to run when they grabbed me. Get help. But I didn't think anyone would come." "He's brave," Reaper said. "Reminds me of my nephew. Same age." He paused. Something dark crossed his face. "Lost him 3 years ago. Texting driver. He was just walking home from school." The room went silent. "I know what it's like," Reaper continued, voice rough. "Watching a kid grow up without parents. That boy ran to us because he had no choice. No dad, just you. Just desperation. The old woman took his scarred hand in hers. "Thank you for coming." Sirens wailed closer. "Ma'am, those 3 are going away." "But the debt. They'll send someone else," she whispered. "I can't pay." "They'll keep coming." Reaper pulled out his phone. Dialed. 2 rings. "Jimmy? It's Reaper. I need you. I don't care if you're busy. This is family." "Yeah, I'll wait." He looked at the woman. "My uncle runs most lending in this county. Legal and not." The phone clicked. "Uncle Jimmy, I'm at a yellow house on 47. Woman here named Martha Torres, being squeezed for her dead son's debt. I know how it works, but I'm calling in my favor. The Tucson warehouse. You said I had one anytime. 15 grand plus interest. Wipe it. Thanks. She's good people." He hung up. Looked at Martha. "Done. Debt's cleared. You won't hear from them again." Martha's face crumpled. She'd been drowning for months. Now she could breathe. 2 cop cars pulled up. The senior officer walked over, looked at Reaper. "Should have known you'd be here. Sergeant Morrison." Reaper nodded. "We're the good guys today." Morrison smiled. "Yeah, the 911 call mentioned bikers saving a grandma. Dispatcher thought it was fake." He gestured. "Get statements at the diner. There's a kid there who needs to see she's alive." 20 minutes later, 5 bikes rolled back into Rusty's parking lot. Martha rode behind Reaper. Michael rode with Mouse, small arms wrapped tight around him. The crowd erupted when they saw them. Ruby was crying. The truck driver who'd watched Michael run was filming. Everyone had waited. Michael jumped off before the bike stopped and crashed into his grandmother's arms. They held each other like the world was ending and they were all that mattered. "I thought they'd kill you," Michael sobbed. "Like they killed Dad. You saved me, mijo. You were so brave." Michael pulled back, looked at the bikers. "No, they saved you." Ruby came out carrying coffee and pie. "On the house. All of it." The next hour passed in warm chaos. Police took statements. Word spread fast. By evening, half the county knew the story. A boy ran to the Hells Angels, and they answered. As sunset painted the sky orange, Reaper walked Michael and Martha to Ruby's truck. Ruby was driving them home, her husband already on his way to fix the broken door. Michael tugged Reaper's vest. The big man knelt. "Are you bad guys?" Reaper thought about it. "Most people are both good and bad. What matters is what you do when it counts." "You're good," Michael said with absolute certainty. Michael pulled a toy motorcycle from his pocket, cheap plastic from a vending machine, pressed it into Reaper's palm. "So you remember me?" Reaper's face did something complicated. He closed his hand around it. "Brother, I couldn't forget you if I tried." 3 months later, spring arrived properly. The Iron Brotherhood had their monthly ride, 50 bikes rolling through the county like controlled thunder. They stopped at Rusty's. And there, wearing a tiny custom leather vest, was Michael Torres. His grandmother stood behind him, healthy now, smiling. Michael ran to Reaper's bike. "You came back. Promised, didn't I?" Michael pulled out a drawing, crayon, 5 motorcycles, a house, a boy holding his grandmother's hand. Big letters at the top, "Thank you." Reaper stared at it like it was made of gold. When he looked up, his eyes were wet. "This goes up at the clubhouse, behind the bar where everyone sees it." Martha approached with a box. "Homemade cookies, dozens. My grandmother's recipe. It's all I could do." Snake took one, bit into it. His eyebrows shot up. "Ma'am, these are incredible." "You didn't have to do anything," Crow said. "Yes, I did." Martha's voice was firm. "You didn't see a burden. You saw a child asking for help. You didn't hesitate. That's not common. That's extraordinary." These rough men who'd lived hard lives stood there not knowing what to say. So they just accepted the cookies and the gratitude and the strange warmth of being somebody's heroes. Michael hugged each of them. One by one, even Snake, who looked terrified but hugged back anyway. When the Iron Brotherhood rode out, Michael and Martha waved until the last bike disappeared. The drawing was in Reaper's saddlebag. The toy motorcycle hung from his handlebars, zip-tied so it wouldn't fall. That night at the clubhouse, when beer flowed and music blared, Reaper stood and raised his bottle. To Michael Torres, "Bravest kid I've met." 50 bottles raised. To Michael. To Martha, for raising him right. To Martha. And to us, for remembering the patches don't define us. What defines us is what we do when someone needs us. The response was quieter but heavier. Every man there had been changed. Some called their kids afterward. Some donated to shelters. Some just thought about who they wanted to be. Because heroes aren't born. They're made in moments like these, when a child runs asking for help. When men who could ignore it choose not to. When kindness cuts through reputation and fear. The Iron Brotherhood wasn't perfect. They'd made mistakes. Worn patches that scared people. Carried histories that wouldn't fit on resumes. But one Tuesday, 5 of them became exactly what a 9-year-old needed. And isn't that what being a hero means? Not perfection, just showing up when someone desperately needs you, doing the right thing when no one expects it. Michael still has that vest, wears it every time they ride through, once a month now. He's 12, taller, still brave, still the kid who ran toward bikers. Not away. Martha bakes cookies every visit. The house is paid off thanks to quiet help and Ruby's fundraiser. She volunteers at a shelter now, helping women in impossible situations. Reaper keeps that toy motorcycle on his handlebars, even when bikers tease him, even when it gets weathered, because it reminds him, no matter how hard you've lived, what mistakes you've made, what people assume when they see your vest or tattoos or scars, you always have a choice. Keep your head down and ride by. Or be the person who stops when a child screams. The Iron Brotherhood chose to stop. They proved the most unlikely people can be heroes. That leather and chrome can hide hearts that care. That family isn't blood. It's who answers when you call. If this reminded you goodness exists in unexpected places, that second chances are real and heroes come in all forms, hit that like button, share this, and subscribe. These stories matter. These moments prove humanity is worth believing in. Tell us, what would you have done at that diner? Would you have turned away? Or followed a child into danger to save a stranger? That's the question we all answer eventually. Not in a diner, maybe, but somewhere. When someone needs us and we decide what kind of person we'll be. The Iron Brotherhood made their choice. The world is better because they did.